The next way we're going to be looking at data is through something called a scatter plot. Scatter plot is really easy to remember because it's literally plots of data that are scattered. They're not all together on one line. They're all varying, which is basically what happens with any data you have. But what scatter plots can show us is different trends within the data. Here we have a scatter plot that has varying data, is not linear, and it's not really showing us much. While here, this scatter plot is showing us a definite linear relationship. Even though this data isn't shown as a line, we are still able to find trends within it, and we are still able to synthesize information from the data. Sometimes, despite no trend, what you can do is you can draw a line which will represent the average or the general trend of the data based on the plots that are above the line and below the line. This is known as the line of best fit, which we'll get to in a future video. But it's important before we move on to start looking at these scatter plots and the relationship they pose. So we already know that this scatter plot is showing a pretty linear relationship. But is it positive? Is it negative? Usually on a line graph, if a line is going this way, it's showing a negative slope line. As the x slope increases, the y slope is decreasing. So let's say this says age and sleep. As you get older, your sleep is going to decrease. This would be similar to what we could see here. If we surveyed a bunch of people with increasing ages, their sleep tends to decrease as they get older. And that's a trend we can find through a scatter plot. We're going to infer certain things like it's following a linear relationship. Now, linear relationships can also be positive, where there's something like this. Here we can see the trend is a line that's positive, whereas, let's say, age increases, the sleep per day increases. And that's also something we can infer. That's a positive relationship. Now, if it doesn't follow a trend like that, if it follows a trend like this, or it follows a trend like this, these aren't known as linear relationships, but they're not completely random either. These are nonlinear relationships, specifically a quadratic relationship and an exponential relationship. Basically, what you need to know is that there will be graphs that have nonlinear trends, but the trends can still tell us something important about the data that's collected. Hey, thanks for watching this Crash Course video. To watch the previous video in this series, click here. To watch the next video in this series, click there. If you want to request a video, make sure you put it in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video.